Today's guest conversation is with the owner and director of TCS Postgrad in Melissa, Texas, Mr. Logan Harrington. Here's episode 98 of the Baseball Forward podcast. Logan Harrington, hello, sir.
How are you, Ross?
Man, I'm doing good. You know what? I always like seeing you. Like, I got to say this, y'all. You're like one of the nicest guys in baseball I've ever met. Every encounter I've ever had with you has been positive. And anytime I see your name coming through my phone, I'm like, all right, what does Logan have to say? But you don't have players for me, man. So you're no use to me. Hey, but seriously, man, in the world that we live in, you and I both know that, man, there's some egos and pride gets in the way and just peacocking. And I think it's so cool with what the operation you're running and all the stuff you do to elevate the game of baseball. You have no ego. So that has got to be a deciding factor to a lot of people. So, hey, I want to get into it, man. TCS Postgrad. I know what it is, but the purpose of you being on this podcast today is I want to familiarize our audience with the postgrad experience, because I said, I've told you before, I feel like now there's never been a better time for a postgrad opportunity or option for baseball, because I saw that the average age of a NCAA baseball Division I baseball player is 21.8, and I'm like, well, that's up from like 20 point whatever. So it's just getting older and older, and that pushes the high schooler opportunities down. So that said, I want to lead with this question here, Logan, with the postgrad for the idiots like me out there that don't know what postgrad is. Dumb it down for us and tell us what postgrad's all about.
Well, first off, thanks for having me on here. I know, Ross, me and you've interacted, a lot. Even we've had scrimmages, your son against my son out in a pasture. Where watch out for ants and snakes. So we kind of go back, and I really appreciate you saying the ego stuff and just being positive. And I think, I've got a bunch of different businesses, a bunch of different baseball stuff, and I just always try to do things the right way. And I think that, I hope people see that and understand that and know that. And I believe everything that I do. So all the businesses that I'm, in and trying, I think it benefits a lot of players, and I hope to get out to more. So what is a postgrad? Postgrad pretty much is a 1-year, really college baseball program without the word college or university at the end of it. For us, we're lucky. This is our 12th year, going into our 13th year next year. So we've been around for a while. It didn't start out like this, but we have our own facility. Guys come right after they graduate high school to us. They are housed here. They are trained here, indoor and weight room, PT clinic. They're fed here. We have a full restaurant, all you can eat meals, 24/7 fuel station to where it's chocolate milks and peanut butter jelly sandwiches whenever they want. There's an auditorium where there's college classes on Tuesday and Thursday nights. And then we play a full college game schedule, and it mimics really a junior college schedule, but our guys don't burn a year of eligibility. So it's, again, it is a college baseball program without that, college or university at the end of it. And in my opinion, the guys that benefit from coming here, it's usually the guys that need it for either, maturity, maybe their bodies need to get bigger, stronger, faster. Maybe they just need to kind of put their toe in the water of college baseball and get used to being away from mom and dad. Maybe they need a little bit more structure, because we deal with freshmen every year to where we know they're not perfect, and we know kind of how to talk to them and deal with them, and help them. So, I mean, it's just, there's a lot of different reasons to come here, but I think those freshmen that really need it, that are just, again, just they have it in there. You can see it. It's just it's not shined up and looking perfect right now.
You know what I used to tell guys, like when they were going through the recruiting process and trying to explain to families or parents that don't understand, and this was like 10, 15 years ago, that didn't understand the benefit of going to a junior college. And the way I explained it to them, and maybe the word choice was wrong, but it's like a purgatory stage for the guys that, like, maybe their grades aren't great. Maybe maybe there's in between levels and development. They're not sure where they can go. And as I hear you describing, TCS postgrad, I mean, I can just say it because I've seen it with my own eyeballs. It's almost, you almost think it's almost like better than some other 4-year or 2-year opportunities for guys. And I think that the stigma of junior college for sure is gone. And I feel like that's that stigma that anybody, or it's the unknown, the postgrad, like it doesn't exist anymore. Like if somebody calls me up and asks me about Logan Harrington and TCS, I'm like, go. If that's your option, go, because of the things that you just described. So what do you pride yourself in when someone, when a family says that when they commit to TCS, what do you guys pride yourself in terms of the next step for those players?
I mean, no question. I feel like, and this is cocky and arrogant, we've dealt with so many freshmen. We've dealt with all the issues and problems and the ups and downs, the moms, the dads, everything. And I feel like our experience and our facility and our like family environment, we just can get guys ready for the next stop better than most other college programs. Not that we're smarter, not that we, have the key to the success. Plain and simple, we've tried. It's a 1-year program. We've tried, different ways, different things. We've failed. We've stepped on landmines, but we make it better every single year. And we have freshmen every single year. So the junior colleges and universities, they have a lot of other things that they got to worry about instead of, we just have to worry about our freshmen, getting them ready for whatever college program they're going to go to after us. And the part that no one thinks about, or not that many think about, is the time commitments, is the, structure, doing their laundry, doing their homework, showing up with the right color shirt, communicating, which communication for a college freshman is horrendous.
Yes, it is.
So we walk them through that stuff. We talk to them about, how to write emails, how to address envelopes, like how to do a handshake with your eyes, locked in, and a firm handshake, like the little stuff that freshmen, we teach them how to do laundry. We teach them how to do a vacuum. There's people that don't really know how to do how to vacuum. I mean, it's things that I think college programs, in my opinion, it's, hey, sink or swim. You either figure it out or you're not. And we're kind of more easy in, hey, we understand, we know, we're going to make this kind of an easier transition and process. Parents, we have a parent meeting right before everybody gets there. We predict the future. This is what happened in years past. This is probably what's going to happen to your kids. And here's what the phone calls you're going to get from your sons. Here's how you're going to choose to, answer these questions. And we try to just help everybody out by the history of our program. So I guess going back to your question, I think our guys are more prepared if they come through us and then go to whatever college and there's another freshman that's right there next to them. Our guys just have so much more experience, a leg up to where they know what to expect and they're ready to go at that college program. The ability, we're going to get them bigger, faster, stronger, but just handling the outside noise of college baseball and life, our guys are going to be able to handle it. How to deal with roommates that either are a night owl or early, wakes up really, really early. I mean, how do you handle that? Someone that's a clean freak, someone that is dirty, that needs to be, needs to go take a shower. Like, how do you handle if you're the opposite? And I think our program kind of puts them through the gauntlet and teaches them how to communicate to where they're able to handle the next place a little bit better.
Man, that's real world training is what that is, Logan Harrington. Talking with Logan Harrington of TCS postgrad on episode 98 of the Baseball Forward podcast today. Hey, man, you said a phrase, and I want to bring it up, next stop, because you said it's the next, get them ready for their next stop. I want to paint a picture for parents and the players, and this is something that I want you to add on to, but I try to make them understand. I try anybody that asks me for advice. I always start with a timeline and I say, what is your ultimate goal with baseball? And the answer should be, I want to play in the big leagues. I don't know why you're going to college and waste your time if you don't want to try and go as far as you can. But so they say, let's just say all right, I want to be a big leaguer, Ross. Okay. if you truly want to get to the highest level of baseball and you're set 16, 17, 18 years old, you got to put a timeline together. And if the ultimate goal is is Major League Baseball, maybe you make your debut when you're 26. And so you've got this big gap from where you start, maybe 17, to where you're 26. And I think we're in such a society, we're in such a rush for results that people forget what the goals and the vision are. And I think post-grad is it's one of those next stops. And some of the best advice I was ever given is, Ross, as long as you're playing, you have a chance. And so I want you to elaborate on what I just said, like the vision and how you've got to see this as not a singular choice. Like, I'm going to go play at University of Texas. No, you're not, right? As a freshman, there are steps involved. Talk to me about that.
That's the hardest one. And a lot of people don't want to go slow and steady. Yeah. I mean, it's like investing your money in the stock market, the non-sexy, boring, slow and steady, like that wins the race. And I feel like that's the same way in college baseball, like a gimmick or a swing change or, whatever, like whatever's been tried and true for, 100 years, like that's probably what's going to work for you, son. So like, let's get bigger, faster, stronger. Let's get around good baseball people and let's just get better every single day. And you know what? After months, you'll look back and you're ready. But after a day or two, you probably don't see much change. So just keep continuing to get better. And I feel like a lot of people that we recruit against, I hate to say against, but we'll recruit. There'll be junior colleges or universities that are recruiting the same high school players that we're recruiting. We're trying to sell our program to where, look, you can come through our program and then go to whatever program is recruiting you. Hopefully you go a little bit better or get more money, whoever's recruiting you. But we're going to just fine tune everything and get you ready to where it's almost like a step. It's just like you're stepping all the way up. But sometimes those steps are massive. And you know what? You need a little bit of a help on our program to get there. And I think that's where it is. And look, the egos, when you started this podcast talking about egos, and I feel like there's a lot of egos for moms, dads, players that just don't understand the benefit that, man, like after they go, once they realize it, and it's too late, and you chose the fast pass, and the fast path, and you should have chose kind of the slow and steady, better path. And I hate whenever we get those texts or phone calls, or, I see people all the time up at the facility that are just, man, I should have went postgrad, or I should have went to y'all, but I went here. And, I went 1 year and I'm done. I got burned out, or I got, cut or redshirted, or, just it consumed me. And I hate that, but I think that's the egos that are getting in people's ways. But, I do want to say this, because I know this is a big, it's the same thing as junior colleges, same thing as D3s. Everybody thinks, junior college isn't good, and I think people are starting to realize junior college is holy moly unbelievable. And then same thing with Division threes. Like there's some really, really good Division III programs that, it's not the old Division III, down the street that anybody can play at. And I think postgrads get that same rap sometimes. I mean, we've had 8 Division I guys in 1 year. 1 year.
Wow.
So year 8 was the first year of this building. 8 guys played Division I baseball at that one team. And then, that's just 1 year. We had another year. We had 6 Division I guys in 1 year.
Wow.
So I either we're really good at developing or we're getting better players than what most people think. So that's just one thing that I just want to make sure everybody knows. It's not about what, you can't play college baseball, you go to a post-grad. No, it's wherever your next step is, after high school. If you come to a post-grad, that next step is going to be easier, and it might even be higher than where you would go if you just straight went there right out of high school. And again, it's just a slow and steady race that is, I think, better, for a lot of players. So that's just my opinion.
I think, because what I know of you is this, like you have a smart business mind and you're a really good baseball guy. So I'm I want to know, because I think it helps parents understand, like, just if we were talking about franchises and baseball academies, you'd say DBAT. And so you're in that same echelon. Like, you have a good business mind. You saw a need, and like, I want you to make it clear to the why did you, what need did you see for post-grad? And like, because you wouldn't have done it if you didn't think, hey, there was an opportunity to be successful in it.
Hey, and I love this story, and I'm going to try to say it as fast as I can so it isn't long-winded. I was a junior college coach. I started my first business, which is the Complete Showcase.
Yes.
And I went to Florida and had a showcase out in Florida. And IMG post-grad, Nolan Neiman was the head coach, wanted to send players there. And I was like, what is a post-grad? What is this? Why are you sending players to me? And then he taught me, and I learned about what a post-grad was. And I was, again, a junior college coach in Texas. And I was like, man, I recruit a lot of players out of high school. And I was 23, 24. And after a year with me in our program, they were different players, like different. And I was like, man, if someone could do that to where they get that 1 year development jump and benefit before they choose to go to whatever junior college or whatever university, they're going to have better options and they're going to be more ready for it. That's when I was like, this is genius. And then with the showcases, I was interacting with the college coaches. I knew everybody. I mean, I was a college coach then, and I recruited my staff from my showcases. I asked all the college coaches about what a post-grad was about. Would you recruit these players? Would you play against us? And they all said, man, that's a great idea. Yeah, do it. And then, we rolled it out. And I remember it was May 6th. I still remember the day. It was me and Justin Cunningham. Hopefully he listens to this. And we were in the office and we were printing out, people that were emailing us their phone call. And we had hundreds of papers all over, unorganized as could be. And everybody was, what is this? This is illegal. How is this not, burning a year of eligibility? And we went through it all. And we were the first ones through the wall, and we got the bloodiest. And I mean, everybody thought we were screwing kids. And first year it worked, and we did really well. We had a left-handed catcher. We tried the best, and I'm not talking left-handed hitter, left-handed thrower. And the second year is when, we had 2 guys drafted the second year of the program.
That's crazy.
You talk about just, post-grad, that's not any good. Our second year of the program, we had 2 players drafted off of that team.
Oh, man, that is beautiful.
But yeah, that's why it started. I just saw, man, like, I wasn't that knowledgeable. I didn't have that much resources at my junior college, and I developed a lot of freshmen just because of, naturally, I think players are going to develop their freshman year the most. So why not get that eligibility free in a better environment than where I was at? And now your future is just better. You have more options. Hopefully you have, just a better life ahead of you, baseball or non-baseball, with that freshman kind of, I don't know, just a benefit.
Yeah. You know what? I wrote a word down, grace. It came to my mind, the word grace, like having grace, giving grace. And before we move on to the Complete Showcase, I want to talk about the showcase stuff, but I want to talk about grace and like what that means. You're never, most guys at 18, 19 are not finished products. Like, the majority of them are not finished products. And I think where a lot of kids go wrong in picking schools is they're reactive. They don't go collect enough data on enough places and have enough correct information on enough places. And then they go to the program. That's not going to let them fail. That's not going to be cool with them if they fail. That's going to be, it's cutthroat, and the grace, there's no grace there. And what I know of, and it's not every program, but it's worth being mentioned that when you're collecting the information and going through the recruiting process, post-grads included, you got to find people that are going to be graceful with you, because if you have to go, performing from day one, and that's all that matters. That's a tough road to hoe. Talk on that, Logan.
I really feel parents, let's go 80% of parents don't understand the failure that college freshmen are going to receive across the board. And if I'm a college baseball coach, I'm going to deal with a little bit, but I ain't going to deal with a lot.
That's right.
And again, our experience, in my opinion, we've kicked players out that, man, I wish I could go back and say, you know what, we should have kept that kid. Or the other way, where we've not kicked players out that by the end of the story, we're like, man, we should have kicked that kid out, man. We gave him too much. And every year we just learn. We read the situation, we lean on each other as, coaches and staff, and we make better decisions, I think, for future guys off of the past. And I mean, we've had players go home for homesickness, and we just said, hey, go home for a week and come back. And like, it literally changed that kid's trajectory of college baseball. And I really feel if he was at a junior college or university, they had said bye.
That's
and that kid literally, he might get drafted. Like, he's that talented. And we didn't do that because he was talented. We just did that because, man, he was from, 10 states away, and you know what? He's homesick. Go home for a week and come back. I've had meetings with players in here. Like, and another part of our program is I meet with the guys roughly once a month, and I talk to them one-on-one, just like this. How are you doing? What's good? What's bad? What are you worried about? Recruiting, mom, dad, family, coaches. And I just meet with them. And I think sometimes just talking with these players, it's a huge kind of relief that they know that someone cares. Like, someone's birthday's today. I don't spread it to the world, but I went up to the kid and said, hey, man, I know it's your birthday, but I'm not going to tell everybody else. Happy birthday. And you could just see him like, wow, someone sees my birthday, which all these college programs, I mean, sometimes they could care less. Like, hey, if you don't get me wins, I don't care when your birthday is.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's not the coach's fault. It's cutthroat. I'm going to get fired and lose my job and not, put food on the table for my family if we don't win. But I don't know. I think we are just, we all know why we're here. We have a bunch of freshmen that are going to make mistakes. They're going to make us pull more hair out of my head than I have. And you know what? I love the stories 2 to 3 years after, or even 4 years after our program, where I can say, hey, coach, you remember this kid? Well, guess what? He's playing Division II baseball or Division I baseball. Or this kid, we just had someone, it was actually at lunch today. He's the analytic, I don't know what he is, maybe baseball ops at Notre Dame. And he was a TCS player that came through us, and now he's at Notre Dame right now on staff with them as a baseball coach.
That's cool.
So, I mean, I was like, God, man, and I'm a big Notre Dame fan too. So I was like, how did I not know about that earlier?
Time to get some tickets.
One of the coaches said that, and I was like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna reach out.
Let's go. Hey, talking with Logan Harrington of TCS Postgrad on the Baseball Forward podcast today. Boy, I want to transition this because you're known for the complete showcase. And again, I'm going to blow you up again and say, and I don't care, it's worthy of it. You're my friend, but I've witnessed it with my own eyes. You didn't look for me. You don't look to for pats on the back, and it's worthy of us saying, hey, man, well done. Like, way to be the light. So let's go to the complete showcase. And the complete showcase, I'll give you my version of it, and I want to tell you, and I want you to come in and tell, inform us. But it's got to be one of the best showcase showcase events in the country. And here's why I'll say it is, you have to be seen by coaches. They have to evaluate you with their own eyeballs, and if they don't evaluate you with their own eyeballs, you're not going to get to step one with them. So the complete showcase I've heard from, so many kids, and I just go, this is the one. Why? There's a ton of coaches consolidated. There's a ton of coaches in attendance. You make sure that everyone that says they're going to show up shows up, and you drive a hard line. I know that. But the coaches respect you. The college coaches respect you. The players go there. The expectation for showcases for the kids that are going through the recruiting process is get in front of the programs that you want to be seen by. Go show them, let them know that you're interested in them. You guys capture that. The complete showcase is a ton of good coaches, a ton of good programs, a ton of exposure. And I've just heard story after story of guys going to that event and starting relationships with coaches. So talk to me a little bit about the complete showcase and like the importance of showcasing in the recruiting process.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the complete showcase is my baby. And that's the original, I guess, business that I started that, I poured my heart and soul into. And it started way back when I was a junior college coach, and I had tryouts for my junior college, and I had them, all across the state of Texas. And I would do one day, some were free, some were like $10. And I would get 20, 30, 40, 50 high school players come and try out for just my little junior college, Mountain View Junior College.
Wow.
And it blew up. And I went to El Paso. I went to Corpus Christi, Longview, Austin, San Antonio. I went everywhere. I mean, I was working my tail off to find players to build Mountain View Junior College up as one of the best programs ever. And at the same time, I was, credit card debt, financially hurting. And I had other college coaches in my ear saying, hey, I want to come and watch too. And I was like, heck no, I want all of them, all the players for myself. But then I started thinking business wise, hey, you know what if I have 5 coaches and I charge $50 instead of $10 or $15 for just me? And then what if I have 10 and charge 100 and so on and so on? And it just blew up. So I think the last August one, we had 130 college coaches and 350 players over 3 days. And it's pretty crazy how big it's blown up, but I will say this, the only way it's blown up is because of the staff that I've got. I mean, the fungo hitters, the email guys, the recruiting seminar talks, I could go naming everybody off. But it's not me, it's my idea and just getting good people around me and treating them right and keeping them around. And I think that's what separates us. So it's, I guess, back up to your question, you as a player, I get the whole, you got to be a gamer and you got to be able to play. And I'm not a showcase guy, man. You got to be able to showcase at least a little bit. You got to be able to go through a pro style workout and look like a prospect and someone that a college coach would be interested in. And then they go see you play in a game. And that's what we sell is you go through a showcase. And if the players if the coaches like it, they come watch you. And the one thing that separates the two things, in my opinion, that separates us are it's very organized. I have not been to a showcase, and I get coaches all the time that say, Logan, you would have, nails on a chalkboard if you'd have seen how the showcase was ran. The roster that we have, little stuff, there's a space underneath a kid's name in our roster to where coaches can write notes. That's small, that's simple, but no one does it. Everybody just gives them a roster, and where am I supposed to write that, and who am I supposed to put that to? Little stuff. We mail merge to where that's kind of crazy too. We do mail merge on some of the papers. We use video boards. So when a kid's hitting, it's what their 60-yard dash time is. What their bat exit velocity is.
Yes.
Whenever they're actually hitting. When the kid's going through defense, his exit velo, his 60 time. So that on the screen. What his number is.
Wow.
A lot of showcases, the coaches don't even know who's going. So that's number one. Number two is there's a lot of players that won't get recruited. There's a lot of players that won't get phone calls. And at the very end are the coaches. Everybody talks to about 2 to 5. Our August blowout is about 5 coaches. And then our regular one is 2 to 3 coaches. So each player and their family will talk to 2, 3, or even up to 5 for the blowout, one-on-one with college coaches. And the coaches are honest. If they didn't like it, if they're not, going to recruit you, they're going to tell you that. But they're also going to tell you what you need to improve on and where you need to get to for them to actually recruit you. So again, the players that are good enough will get the phone calls, so they're going to benefit. And the players that just are not ready and not going to get calls. They're going to find that out pretty much at the showcase directly from college coaches, and they're going to tell them why they're not going to get a phone call and what they need to improve on. So it's not a question. And I feel like there are a lot of other showcases, it's just a big question mark. Hey, how did you do? I think I did great. I think I did great. Well, your opinion as a player don't matter. It's what the coaches think. And a lot of showcases keep that like hidden, and the coaches keep it hidden. So I open it up and I tell the coaches, I say, hey, if they shouldn't come back to a showcase, spend money at my showcase again, you need to tell them, and they need to wait another 2 years or another year before they get better, before they spend more money to me.
Wow.
So my showcase. So I think just the evaluation and being organized, it's simple, but that goes a long way. And that's probably the reason we've been successful so much.
You hit on something, and it makes sense to me, because to be successful, man, it takes a lot of failure. You got to be successful at anything. You've got to fail a lot at it. It's almost like we're successful because we learn not what not to do. Right. I think about how buttoned up you must have to be at TCS because of the newness that you kind of describe. People, the not knowing what it's really about, showcasing the recruiting, the college recruiting industry period has kind of that dark cloud over it. We all know the stigma exists. And what I'm hearing from you and what I know of you is you eliminate those what the parents are going to say. Like you were talking about the product that you guys deliver to the end user, to the athlete when they go, the video board and everything. I've seen the videos. It's just unbelievable how good it is, the production of it. And it's almost like, this is what I say to some of the parents or kids. They're always looking for someone to blame why they're not getting their chance. And what I love about what you do with all this stuff is you don't give them a hey, don't be pointing that finger at me. I'm doing my job. I'm doing it really well. Is there an element to saying, boys, we got to button this thing up to make sure we eliminate all of those customer service issues?
I say it in my meetings. I say, hey, moms, dads, I got $5 baseballs and bad exit velocity. I got $5 brand new bullpen balls. I got 3 stalker radar guns that whatever the highest one is in the bullpen and the other 2 are at the bad exit velocity.
So smart.
Hey, coaches, I talk to the coaches about phone usage. I say, hey, whenever little Johnny is up, like, I'm not saying you have to be locked in and you can't be on your phone, and I'm like the phone police to the coaches, but I say, plain and simple, like, perception is reality. And if little Johnny's going and you're on the phone and your back is towards them, like, they're going to email me and they're going to be pissed, and it's really your fault for being on the phone. And you got to keep cell phone usage at a minimum. So, like, I think, again, it's just organization. It's just doing it over and over again, getting emails. I don't know how many times college coaches have said, hey, Logan, how many emails do you get about parents that complain or they want their money back or whatever? And you know what I tell them? I tell them I get probably 1 email a showcase. That's it.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
It. So it's because it's experience. We're not perfect. We've made mistakes. We've done not bad things, inadvertently, like done things that we shouldn't have, that we need to fix and get better at. And we just change it. And I tell the parents that as well. I mean, if there's a coach, I've not invited coaches back because they don't pour into the evaluations to the players. So like, hey, coach, I don't want you back. I don't care if you're at Division I or Division II. You're not giving the parents their money's worth, and they're getting mad at me. So I don't need you. And I even say that to the coaches. I say, I know you don't need me. I'm a little old showcase. You can go recruit whoever, but I don't need you, college coach, if you're not going to give these high school players and parents their money's worth at a showcase when you talk to them. So I'm not being rude. I know from experience kind of how it is. And I think that's, you hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of, advisors, recruiters. There's a lot of select coaches that go here, go there. And man, college baseball has changed. People have changed. Coaches' programs have changed, and it continues to change. And if you're not in the thick of it, it's it's hard to say any absolutes. It's hard to say this lefty, all you got to do is throw 85 and you go to this level. Or if you throw, 90 at right-handed pitcher, you're going to go to this level. And you know what? This program isn't any good because of this. It changes. It changes every single year, not every couple of years. So I feel like if you're not humble and you're out there to learn as a parent, as a player during the recruiting process, you deserve what's about to happen whenever you pick the wrong place to go to. So you need to be open, you need to ask questions, and you don't need to kind of turn your nose up to any college program or any post-grad or any select coach or anybody, because there's a lot of good people out there, and there's also a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about, that use smoke and mirrors that fool a lot of people that I hate to see it happen, but it's because mom and dad don't ask enough questions. It's not because the players don't ask enough questions either. So, we try to be open and honest, and I hope parents are doing the same thing.
Man, I love hearing that. And executing on those beliefs is about discipline and consistency. And I think you would ask any good college program, heck, Signetti, he's hot in the news. Why were they so good? Because of the extreme discipline and commitment to the 8 seconds at a time, whatever it is. But TCS postgrad, the complete showcase, you line the stuff up, and the success comes in the consistency and the discipline and the carrying out of the details all the time, not sometimes, all the time. Talking with Logan Harrington, TCS postgrad out of Melissa, Texas, not Anna, Texas, Melissa, Texas, up there by the Z-Plex. I love that area. Although it's my family, I'm not going to say that my family and I are maybe contemplating moving up there. I'm in McKinney, but I'll probably get my house egged one of these days. I want to put our dad hats on. Okay. Because man, I respect the heck out of you as a dad. You mentioned that our boys, our teams played against each other, and we're both navigating the world of select baseball. And I'm not here to like point fingers and be ugly and all that, but I want to relate to some people, and I want to get your just opinion on it. So I'm going to just say this, my opinion after 2 years of helping, our coach Ryan Robertson, who I love and I'm thankful for. My opinion of coaching at this point is I'm just there's so many teams, and there's so like there's we were hunting extra players, and it seems just so we're all trying to work at this breakneck speed that nobody can keep up with. And I'm curious, like, where you sit with like running what you do and what you're involved in. What's your take on the youth sports deal? And like, is it do you feel as frustrated as I do at times?
Yeah. I mean, it's exhausting when I don't know everything, but I know playing tournament after tournament after tournament and a bunch of games and not that many practices is not good for my son. And when other people don't know that and start breaking up teams, and not like my team didn't break up. I'm just saying, I see it. Like, I see just people that don't know what they're talking about, causing problems and issues and questioning coaches, and we need to go here, we need to go there. And I sit back and laugh, but then at the same time, where does my son play?
That's right.
Because almost every team has somebody like that, or has a parent like that, or and it's hard. And whenever you do get something special and something good, then it's, hey, well, if we drop the bottom 2 or 3 kids, then maybe we could be even better. Or the top 2 or 3 players, maybe I can go to another team and get better. When the slow and steady, hey, let's just practice. Let's play less games, but we practice more, and we're going to get better. And it's just the fear of the unknown, I think, is probably what is ruining youth sports, is the fear of the unknown, of missing out on, man, I think practicing more than playing games makes sense, but I'm not willing to dive into that. And I think parents
Boy.
just aren't willing to do that. They're wanting to do the one lesson, probably one, maybe two practices, and playing a ton of baseball. And that is what they feel is going to get them the closest thing to, youth sports. And I don't know. I'm frustrated with it. I mean, I think you can see it. I mean, it's frustrating.
Is because I'm interested in solutions, and like really the people that listen to the Baseball Forward podcast, they can hear, and they probably already know who you are anyway, but they can hear the calm, they can hear the rational speech and everything. And I want to say, I think a solution is, you hit on it earlier, is getting around the right people. I think you have to really, in anything that you do, like instead of us, youth sports is ruined. We all kind of know we're all in the same boat. It's all going down. But who's going to step up and not change it? Nothing's going to change, but from a micro perspective, it can change. And I think that starts with the parents. And I think if you go through the recruiting process, all that is data collection. Massive amounts of data collection if you do it right. Who is the coach? What is the program? What's the history? What is the expectation? But it's kind of the same way to a smaller extent with this select stuff, because you almost have to accept it. Select is here. But it's data collection, and it's putting yourself around the right people. If you're giving advice to parents that were just kind of breaking into the world of travel baseball with what you know of it and everything, like, what advice would you give them? What should they be asking? What should they be considering? And what can they do to give themselves the best chance to get it right?
Yeah. I mean, the most important is who's coaching your son. It's not what name is on the front of the jersey or the organization that they're going with. It is the coach of that team. And, hey, how much are we practicing? How much are we playing? And, how far away is it? Traveling an hour to practice and then an hour back and having a 2-hour practice. You got multiple kids. Like, is that really worth it? I think just understanding that there are going to be some give and takes. There is no perfect situation, and you got to figure out what your top 3 are. I've got 4 kids. So whenever I say traveling an hour to practice, I ain't doing it. I don't care if it's, the best baseball coach in America and he's an hour away. I'm not spending 4 hours away from my 3 other kids.
Good point.
So for me, it's the location of practice, how many practices, how close is it to my other kids' practices? That stuff matters. The family, dynamic and what's best for my family, not just my one kid, is a huge part of my decision making. But who is coaching my son is most important, no question. And then number 2 for me would just be, distance and time away from my other kids and my wife and my family. So that's my 2 things. But I think a parent's got to figure out what their 2, 3, 4 things are and then go after it. But to go back to your how to fix, youth baseball, I live in Prosper PBSA, Prosper Baseball Softball Association. They do amazing. They're just hindered on the number of fields. So there's not enough fields for practices. There's not enough fields for games. And if they did like a upper and lower division in their rec part, like there would be an influx of people, and then they'd have to cap it. And then there'd be people that can't play select baseball that aren't even able to play Prosper Rec. So I think they're doing what I would do, is they're opening it up. And then now everybody that wants to play select goes and plays select, but anybody that wants to play rec can play rec. So I think a lot of people are hammering these rec departments, but they're so handcuffed on, the ability to handle more people, and might as well push the select kids out because they have options instead of the kids that can't play select. So I don't know what the solution is, except I like league play. I like almost like a tournament, but it's like a 3-4 weekend tournament where you play 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. Ooh. It's 4 games a weekend, and then you play 12 games, and then you have a tournament, maybe the 4th weekend or something, or 3rd weekend. I don't know. I think that's would be better and easier. I was, pitching. Perfect example is pitching. I coached my son was 10, 11, and we didn't throw back-to-back days, and we were hindered because of that. So I'd throw a kid 50, 60 pitches on Saturday, and then he wouldn't throw on Sunday. And I needed 8 to 10 arms, and I'm throwing my number 10 arm on Sunday of the semifinals against some other team's number 2 because he threw yesterday, and now he's throwing again today, and we're bringing a knife to a gunfight. But mommy and daddy's eyes, we just lost, and that other team's way better. But I just think the long-term success of my kids are better. So, I mean, it's hard. There's no way around it. Youth sports is hard. Dealing with parents and kids are hard. But I think a league play, this is when you're playing. Coaches can plan around it. That's going to be the best.
Yes,
in my opinion.
That's great stuff. You know what? Just having a conversation about it helps, and having a conversation, because I think there are a lot of really good people out there. And I know this. I coach. I don't get paid. I have sons, but I got a pretty decent baseball background too, and I coach. But why do I coach? I want to help kids. I enjoy it. I enjoy being out there wanting to help. And I think there are a lot of guys out there just like you that want to help, that want to do it right, that take pride in having the right experience or giving the kids and the families the right experience. And then having conversations like that. So I think people will say, oh, it's a baseball forward podcast. I think it might be about baseball, good advice, maybe some good advice. I think the conversation helps, and it gets parents more, it educates them. I want to ask you this, a few more minutes here on the Baseball Forward podcast, talking with Logan Harrington of TCS, episode 98. Baseball Forward, elevating the next generation. Okay, that's what our motto is, and it's been a whirlwind the last year and a half, 2 years. You've been around baseball a long time, and you've dealt with a lot of coaches, you've dealt with a lot of players. So I want just advice, general advice, to the baseball players out there. What advice do you have for the guys coming up in the game to ensure that they're getting the most out of their careers?
Ooh,
that's a big question.
I would just say, man, do what you love. And, I think too many people it goes back to the whole time we've been talking about it. They want stuff really fast. And the most successful players at TCS postgrad that have ever came through our program, they weren't stressed. They weren't worried. They knew that, hey, this is the pace that I'm going. And, I have a end goal of where I want to go. But I got to believe that I'm doing things the right way, and it's just going to take a little bit of time. And we've had a lot of other players that, they're great kids, but they just kind of got freaked out, worried, stressed that things didn't come as fast. So I think for my son, the 12-year-old, he's 80 pounds, and man, he's way undersized, and everybody's bigger and stronger and faster. Man, just keep doing what you're doing. You'll be fine. Right. It'll be all right. Don't freak out. Have fun. Believe in yourself. To the high school players that are trying to get recruited, or to the college players that aren't getting playing time, or to the possible draft guys that might not get drafted. I mean, continue having fun and work in the way that you feel is best, and not stress about the results. I mean, back to Saban and everybody, like the process, just trusting the process, loving the process. I think that is, man, it alleviates a lot. And I'll tell you a funny story, and I'm okay with saying this. We had a player, it's actually a little brother in our program, and this was this week or last week. He decided to leave the program. His heart wasn't in it. He's from Oregon, and he just, man, I don't think I'm going to be able to play as far and as high a level as I can, and I want to go this other route. And we loved on him and said, hey, we respect it. Well, guess what his best baseball in our program was after he said that? Once the weight was off his shoulders, he played some inter-squad games. He was hitting in drills. The best that he was at our program was after he said that, and after he knew that he was leaving. And it just was a relaxing time for him. And I feel like there's a lot of baseball players that have too much pressure from wherever, mom, dad, coaches, themselves. And I think you put less pressure on yourself and you're going to perform better. So I think, again, goes back to just trusting the process, deciding what you're going to do, diving into it, and then just going with whatever the results, are, and not be worrying about those results.
Tip of the cap to all the parents out there that are saying stuff like that and that are at home actively saying those things to their kids and saying, hey, hang in there. It's going to be all right. Hey, hang in there. It's going to be all right. Because I could not be more in agreement with you in knowing that, like I say it with my sons. If you love it, you'll do whatever it takes to play it. And if you're doing whatever it takes to play it at the high level, that means you're just obsessed with the process, because you have to do it a lot to be really good at it. Let's finish up with this question.
Well, I got one more after you.
Yeah, come on, Logan, hit me with it.
No, I just wanted to, and it goes to where my son is and goes to what I just said. We've always been hammered on, hey, why don't y'all do a summer program? We got the facility, we got the weight room, we got the restaurant, we got, everything. So this past summer, we had 10 players in our first summer, 7-week program. It was really designed for those incoming freshmen, incoming sophomores, and they would go Monday through Friday. They would go 40 hours a day or 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day. They would eat every 2 hours so that their metabolism was rolling. We would lift, we would train, we would break down film on swing mechanics. And those guys loved it. And I think there's 3 that are coming back this summer and are doing the exact same thing. And I mean, I really feel like that's something that my son's 80 pounds I guess he'll be 7th grade next year, which is undersized. I mean, he's going to be doing this to where he just gains weight, strength, confidence, reps. And I mean, those guys that came to us this past summer, they swung more, they told us, than the last 3-4 years combined. Just the number of swings that we had, machines, the food, everything. It's just, I feel like not playing as many games and focusing on development is something that is really good for a lot of players. Not for everybody, because there's some that need the opposite. But for a lot of players, they're just not big enough, strong enough, fast enough. My son, hey, he tells me, like, when he wants to go hit in the garage, what I tell him is, hey, you probably need to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwich and you get better results instead of hitting in the garage, but you do what you want. And I think there's a lot of players that are in that boat that, man, they're just not big enough, strong enough, fast enough. And they need to focus on that and not on actual like one-on-one lessons or playing a bunch of games. And they would be blown away with the results if they poured into the weight, strength, nutrition side of the game of baseball.
And I hear that. I hear you say that. And to me, I feel relieved hearing that. Like, if I'm a player, I'm relieved that I have say, hey, everything's going at warp speed. Hey, can I have some time to chill and try and just and focus on developing instead of being a finished product? I think of how stressed it must feel like to be in that moment, because it wasn't like that when I was growing. It just wasn't, thank God. But stressed to be on the best team and to be the best version and to be 110 pounds and to be, the stress that you would feel. And when I hear the focus on development, like, that's not just a word. It's like, pump the brakes and relieve your kid, relieve your kids if that's what they need. And if you're a player listening to this and that's what you need, speak up. Hey, it's your life. We're gonna get on to the last topic. I have to know, Logan Harrington, walkout music, my friend. Walkout music. I want to know this. If you were playing right now, no, I don't know. Do they have walkout? They had walkout music. You're roughly the same age.
I don't think.
Okay? So all right.
It wasn't high, it wasn't at my level. Let's just put it that way. It wasn't a high enough level, probably.
Okay. All right. So Logan Harrington's walking out onto a field right now. What's his walkout song?
Well, I mean, I was a position player in high school and a pitcher in college. I would say if I was in college, I mean, I got to go with Wild Thing. If I was coming out to, close a game out. But if I was a position player, and I like some AC/DC, probably some Thunderstruck. Is probably what I'd go with. But yeah, if I was in college closing, man, the Wild Thing, that's what I like.
I can see that. And man, what a movie that was, huh? That used to fire me up. Logan Harrington, boy, hey, just know this. I appreciate your friendship. Like, it is fun to watch what TCS is doing, on social media. I encourage everybody listening, watching this episode, the handle at TCS postgrad. You guys go check them out, because there's just it's an opportunity. There's so much good information out there. And Logan's one of the best. So, Logan, take 15 seconds. No, 15 to 25 seconds. And you say the most inspirational thing that you've ever said in your life, and then I'll take us out.
Okay. Well, first off, I want to make sure to tell you thank you. And, the information that's out there is so much. And I mean, this is number 98 of your podcast. And if a parent or a player, anybody listens to, even a little bit of the information that you put out, it's going to make their life and their process and whatever situation in baseball they have so much better. So you're growing the game, like we talked about, and then some. So inspiration, hey, stop and smell the roses. That's the biggest thing that I can say. I think a lot of people are going too fast, worrying about too much, and me included. I ain't perfect. I just got to stop and smell the roses and enjoy and be thankful for the things that I already have, and not worry and not think too much about what I don't have.
That's beautiful. That's perfect. Logan Harrington, TCS Postgrad, episode 98 of the Baseball Forward podcast. We'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, Ross.